To start building our first visual in Power BI desktop using our sample data right now, we are going to focus on the most basic visual, which is table and matrix visual. So before we start creating any analysis on our data, first of all, we need to have a sample question, or we need to have a question that we need to get the answer for. Okay, for example, I have this question here. What is our total revenue by each category and manufacturer? Okay, so we are going to get the answer for this question using table or matrix visual right now. So to start with it, we are going to go into our Power BI desktop, and this is our Power BI desktop that we get from our previous video. Okay, so in here, we want to create a visual. So I'm going to show you the general steps that you can do for any visual creation. Okay, the first step is you need to go into this visualization pane, and from here you need to select a visual. Okay, so that is the first step. So let's create our first visual, that is a table. So you can click on this icon here, table icon, from the visualization pane. And this is our container for this table visual. Okay, so right now it's still empty, and when you have this empty container or any visual container on your canvas, on your report canvas, you will see that in your visualization pane you will have some editable fields. Okay, so for example, for this table visual, you will see that you have this field here that you can add data into. Okay, so the second step right now is to select your data. So to select your data, you need to go into this data pane, and depending on the question that you want to get the answer for, you need to select the correct table. Okay, for our example, we are going to select our data from this product table, and we are going to select the first item here, that is category. So now I'm going to show you two methods on how you want to add data into your visual. Okay, the first method is by simply clicking on the checkbox for that particular column. Okay, for example, category, right? So I can just click on this checkbox here, and automatically it will be inserted into our visualization pane. Okay, so this is our first item here, category. And if you want to add another column, I'm going to show you the second method now. So instead of clicking on this checkbox, we are going to use the second method, drag and drop. So you can drag this column from your data pane, you can drag it into your visualization pane. Okay, so that's how you can add data into your visuals. First, by using the checkboxes. The second one is by using drag and drop method. Okay, so right now, as you can see in my table visual now, I have these two columns selected, and the first level here is category, the second level here is manufacturer. Okay, so that is why in our visual, in our report canvas, we have the first column here is category, the second column here is manufacturer. So at any time, you can actually swap this position around. Okay, for example, I want to make this manufacturer as the first item, so I can just drag and drop it on top of category. So now manufacturer has changed position, it becomes the first column and category becomes the second column. Okay, so that's how it is to change the position of your columns. Okay, let me change it back to the initial condition. Category is the first column, manufacturer is the second column. Okay, let's take a look at our table visual right now. So in this table visual, we have a lot of category and manufacturers. Okay, so that is why in this table right now, we have this vertical scroll bar. So you can use it to scroll up and down of your table. And that is how we normally navigate through our table. Okay, other than that, we can resize our visual. Okay, if you can see here, in my table visual, I have these 6 control points that I can use to resize my visual. So this is the first one, second and third. Okay, so these three control points will be there. You can use it to resize your visual upwards, and we can also use this three at the bottom here. Oh, sorry, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so there are three control points as well at the bottom of your visual, and we have this on your left hand side and right hand side. So a total of 8 control points that you can use to resize your visual. Okay. So let me try to make it larger so that we can display all the data inside our table. Okay, without having to scroll up or down. Okay, so now I have resized this table and you can see all the data. Okay, now how about our positioning? Okay, this table you can click and drag it around your canvas. And when you move this visual, you can see sometimes there are red lines appearing. Okay, for now, for example, I have this horizontal red line appear. So that is the reference line showing us that this visual is currently placed at the middle of our report page vertically. Okay, and if I move this further to the right, you can see now I have this vertical red line appearing. Okay, so that signals us that our visual now is positioned at the middle of our report page horizontally. Okay, so you can use this to serve as a guide for you to position your visual on your canvas page. Okay, so depending on your preference, you can change the position around until you are satisfied with the position. And now let me resize it a little bit so that this visual will not occupy more spaces than it's supposed to. Okay, so right now we have these two columns and we haven't inserted any numbers to it. Okay, so as per the question given, we want to produce a report showing us the total revenue for each category and manufacturer. So to do that, I'm going to expand my sales fact table here and select this revenue column. So I'm going to just click on this checkbox, and that is the revenue inserted into our visualizations. And right now I need to make this container larger so that we can see all the values for each category and manufacturer. Okay, so here you go. So this is your result for your table visualizations. And now let me show you how you can insert a second element into your report. So to create a new visual, first of all, okay, you need to make sure that you are not selecting any existing visual on your report page. Okay, or you are not selecting any visual on your canvas. So to make sure that you are not selecting any visual, any existing visual, what you can do is you can click on any empty spaces on your report canvas. Okay, so that's how easy it is to make sure that you are not selecting any existing visual. So after you have done so, now we are going to insert a second visual. So to insert a second visual, you can follow the general steps that I have explained earlier. The first step is to select an icon. So for this case, we are going to select this matrix icon, and it will generate for us automatically an empty container. Okay, so from here, I'm going to select the same columns as previous in our table visual. So the first one is category, the second one is manufacturer, and the third one is revenue. So notice that for each click, it will go into a particular field. Okay, the first selection, it will go into the rows field. The second selection will go into this columns field. And the third selection, it goes into our values field. Okay, so the result of this, we will get this visual. Okay, let me expand this to make sure everything is included into our report page. Okay, and as you can see right now, based on our selection, we have this horizontal table created automatically. Okay, why is it? because manufacturer is having a larger data than category. So that is why when we put manufacturer as the columns label or columns headers, we will get this horizontal orientation table. So I want to make it vertical. What can we do? So to make it vertical, you can just simply swap the position between this category and manufacturer. So what I can do now is I can drag manufacturer to the rows field, category to the columns field. Okay, I have swapped the position and this is the result of my operation just now. Okay, so as you can see, that is how you can manage your table orientation to fit your preference, whether to have horizontal table or vertical table. Okay, so what can we summarize from here is, if you use table visual, the result of it, you will get a normal table, okay, like a normal Excel table. Okay, it goes vertically automatically, and I think it is harder for us to get additional data from it. Okay, for example, if I want to ask you what is the total sale or what is the total revenue for Abbas. Okay, so if you refer to this table, it is harder for you to get the total sale for Abbas, because Abbas right now has been categorized by individual category. Okay, as opposed to your matrix visual on your right hand side here. In this matrix visual, if I have a further follow-up question, what is the total revenue for Abbas? It is easier for us to get the total revenue figure by this last column on our right hand side here, right? So depending on your purpose, you may use table, you may use matrix, but normally we want to save our report spaces, our canvas spaces, and at the same time, we want to be able to answer any further follow-up question. So normally we want to use this matrix visualization instead of this table visualization. Okay, so in the subsequent video, I'm going to show you how you can modify our visual here further to make it user readable or easier to read. Okay, instead of what we have right now. Okay, so see you in our next video.